Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the Non-Believer Bible Club. I had a great time with this episode. I did something which I haven't done before. I invited somebody to read with me, a believer friend of mine. Exciting, right? Well, get this. The entire session magically deleted itself. I still have her interview. I have her final thoughts on the reading, which I'll have at the end of this episode. But as for our reading, I'm going to have to read it again. I'm going to have to read it alone. So be with me, my creeping things, as I go into today's reading. But first, as I am wont to do, let's take a look at some things from our last reading. Before Rachel's death, in Genesis 35:18, and it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, good to let us know, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. In her last moments, Rachel names her final son as she dies giving birth to him. Despite this, Isaac names the son Benjamin. Why does that happen? What does Benoni mean? Well, Ben-Oni means son of my pain. So that makes sense. Benjamin, instead, seems to have a debated etymology, meaning something like son of the south, because he was born in Canaan instead of Aram, like the other sons of Jacob, or son of days, because he was born in Jacob's old age. So that's interesting, because Benjamin is the only son of Jacob that doesn't have his naming described by the Bible. So anyway, he becomes Benjamin, a founding member of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, this is something that I've only heard about and only recently been able to study and fully understand. The Israelites are the descendants of Jacob, who becomes Israel, as he is renamed by God. And the 12 tribes ascribe to each of his 12 sons: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan. Can't forget Dan. Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Benjamin. And two more, Ephraim and Manasseh, who are the sons of Joseph. They are originally recognized as half-tribes, with Joseph being the founder of the 12th tribe. But then they are given full status after Joseph inherits his brother's portion of the inheritance. Which brother was it? And why didn't they get the inheritance? It's Reuben. Now if you remember from the last reading, Genesis 35:22. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now, the sons of Jacob were 12. Not a great image. When you're sleeping with your dad's concubine, make sure he's somewhere where he can't hear it. So, to skip ahead, this puts him in disfavor in Israel's eyes, and eventually, his inheritance is given over to Joseph. So, with this in mind, as we have read about Jacob and his struggles and his becoming his inheritance of a new name, Israel, what we are seeing is a mythological beginning of a kingdom that we will see in power and in strife, from its mythological roots to the country of Israel today. This is the ideal, in fact, related to the eschatology of the religion. The 12 tribes of Israel have a large part to play. It's non-believer vocab time. What? It's non-believer vocab time. Eschatology means a study of the end of times. Now, if you remember, the first temple destroyed by the Assyrians, who scattered the 12 tribes of Israel. There is a second temple built that is only built by the 2 tribes which were able to return to where the kingdom of Israel was, the tribes of Benjamin, and Judah. They were able to make that. And then again, they were disbanded. Now, the third temple will apparently be created at the onset of the apocalypse. It is one of the signs of the apocalypse. The other is the return of Jesus. And the other major sign that it is indeed the end of days will be the return of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, those who were not able to make it back after the Babylonian exile. Once all of 12 tribes have been reunited, it will be the end of the world. But the end of the world is skipping ahead. For now, we have a lot more reading to do. Join with me as I read, for the second time, a whole lot of generations and the events leading up to the story of Joseph. Genesis chapter 36. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom, meaning red, if you remember. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, and the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite. See, you can tell I've read this before. I'm a fucking pro now. These names are nothing. And Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibamah bare Jeush and Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. I think it's interesting because the only time I remember the name Adah or Ada was it was the name of one of the two wives of Lamech, that dickhead. He was kind of cool though. I like that line. The immortal line of Lamech. Hearken unto me, ye wives of Lamech. And they're like, shut up, dude. Why do you always say that to us? Just say, hey. It's Ada and Zillah. We're here. We're here for you, Lamech. We hear you. Anyway, Lamech was a descendant of Cain. So the names and the generations of the people who are clearly not the chosen people of God, they are being recycled. They're like living in the same stratum. It's interesting. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and all his beasts and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them, because of their cattle, like Lot and Abraham. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Don't forget. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel: Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jalam, and Korah. Yes, we are indeed saying the same things that we said just a few lines ago. This is the dry part of the Bible. I'm kidding. The dry part of the Bible is, I think, in Deuteronomy. It's so much worse than this, but I don't care. I'm going to read every single word in this book. So help me. So help me. So help me. And cut. It is actually hard to take the name of the Lord in vain since I started reading the Bible. It just seems superstitiously bad. It's like, I can come up with another word. Continuing. These were dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau. Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Edom. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashmath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife. So many wives. Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. Well, wait. That is like 3 wives. They're just repeating it a lot. See, this was so boring the first time I read this. With Abby. Her name is Abby. My guess was Abby. She just said, please, just skip all this and get to the part that I care about. And I said, sure, I'll just record it by myself. Well, her part got deleted somehow by a strange technical error that's never happened before. 14 episodes in, and this is the first time it's happened. Now here I am, repeating all the names again. Is it God's will? Is that him saying, you cannot skip any part of this Bible? So he deleted the reading that I did before? Who knows? All I know is that I think I know that God wants me to say every single name in this book. Let's go. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom. Third and last time, he's Edom. And these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan, and Shobal, and Zibeon, and Anah, and Dishon, and Ezer, and Dishan. Dishon and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. Then there was a sister, Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these, Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shephpho, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon, his father. And the children of Anah were these, Dishon, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishon, Hemdan, and Eshben, and Ithran, and Cheran. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan, and Zavan, and Akan. The children of Dishon are these, Uz, and Aran. These are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anah, Duke Dishon, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his stead. And Jobab died. Oh, man. And Husham of the land of Temani reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. Wow. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead, and Saul died. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, you guessed it, died. And Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jetheth. Jetheth, that's cool. Duke Aholibamah, Duke Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mizbar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. I'm saving after every break now. Got it. Charted. I do find it interesting, though, with Esau being the older brother of the two, of Esau and Jacob, now Israel. And we see this important theme replicated in all the generations thus far, that the younger of the two siblings, whatever siblings there are, will supplant the older. And so we get this long list of people. I'm sure they are important in some way, but none of them are going to matter. None of them are going to be as important in the long run compared to the generations of Israel. So all of these people are born first. It says, before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. So they are letting us know that these people are not going to make it in the long run. Whatever happens to them and whatever lives they lead, they live, they die. And the children of Israel will be the ones who do something more. Why? Because they are God's chosen people. Esau doesn't seem to be a bad guy. I don't think they're saying that the Edomites are in their nature bad, but we just went through several generations of this line. Bela died, and Jobab died, and Husham died, and Hadad died, and Samlah died, and Saul died, and Baal-Hanan died. All these people died. And we're about to get pages dedicated to one person, Joseph. Make of that what you will. Book 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger. Referencing the prediction, the covenant. In the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. We're back. We're back in it. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah. I like that they call him a lad. The lad. This is like 14th century England, so. And with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For, behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him, yet the more for his dreams, and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. He really felt like sharing more after the last time, huh? And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. This was pointed out to me, the 11 stars. Obviously, it's the 11 other suns. And then the sun and the moon, let's guess who they are. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee and to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. Now this is very important. He says to his father, Here I am. Joseph says this. The first time that we see this, it's when Abraham is responding to God. God calls him, and Abraham says, Here I am. And then God tells him to kill his son Isaac. This is very important. Whenever somebody says, Here I am, the Jewish words are hineni, which means, Here I am, ready to do thy bidding, to embrace what is about to come. So, in other words, Joseph is saying, Yeah, I'm here. He's saying present. But what he's also saying is, I'm ready for what's about to happen, whether he realizes it or not. So, either way, in his complete respect and obeisance to his father, the book is telling us something's going to happen to Joseph. Continuing. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. Than. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. See, the first time I read this, I was sure that guy was like some side character who was going to lead him astray, but he just ended up being a helpful guy. I like that there's random helpful guys in the Bible. He's just like, oh, go this way. Never seen again. Thanks. And when they saw him far off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Damn. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. What an awful thing to say. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. Nice. Well, Reuben is a good guy. Why are you sleeping with your dad's concubine? Dad's concubines are dad's concubines, Reuben. That was a nice move, though. Way to be a bro. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they, dicks. And they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites, their cousins, came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Come on, man. Then They're passed by Midianites, merchantmen. I wonder if Judah's also trying to have his brothers back. Like, let's just not kill him. I don't know, man. These brothers need to get it together. Then they're passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Ooh. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit. And behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, The child is not. And I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats. Killed a goat for the coat, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors. Man, coat of many colors, man. They ruined it with blood. That sucks. And they brought it to their father and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it. Come on, it's the coat of many colors. And said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. Damn. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, and he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Man. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Now, something interesting before we continue. I noted that he wore sackcloth upon hearing of his son's death. Now, sackcloth is rough, made with goat hair, and in addition to being a sign of mourning, was also thought to be interpreted as, I assume because of its rough, uncomfortable nature, a mortification of the flesh, something that is done to punish the flesh as a way of atonement, as a way to subjugate yourself before God. In other words, Jacob is so miserable upon hearing that his son has been killed, that he has torn off his clothes and he's wearing sackcloth. I know there's 12 of them running around. So, I mean, like, they have kids to spare. But it's not, this was a bad move. And I feel like everybody knows it. But they can't just say, hey, we actually just sold him into slavery. They're going to sit on this one for a while. Genesis chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in to a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hirah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son. And he called his name Er. And she conceived again, and bare a son. And she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. Come on, And the Lord slew him. Whoa, forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Coitus interruptus. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Wow. Just slew in left and right. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also, as his brother did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. Wow, they really don't want to tell us the name of his wife. Shua's daughter. Who? And Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hirah the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath, for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. Man, Judah kind of pulling a Laban move with this one. He promised Tamar that she would marry his son, but his son is grown, and yet he's gone back on his promise. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. I guess that's what harlots do. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. And we have parentheses, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. Okay, and she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? Wow. And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge, till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. I got the kid. Where is she? And it came to pass, about 3 months after, that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot. And also, behold, she is with child, by whoredom. Whoredom sounds like more educated prostitution. I got a degree in whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, am I with child. And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet, and bracelets, and staff? And Judah acknowledged them, and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more. He's done knowing her. Knowing unto her. It's done. And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. Oh. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, the brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Now that's an origin story if I've ever read one in this book. And here we are going to stop. Wow, that's a lot. I love this I love this book more and more. It's so exciting, so strange. Honestly, the weirdest book I've ever read. We've gone from all these battles, all this stuff that Jacob was doing, to this boring, weird family stuff. One of the things that I spoke about with Abby was that Joseph's brothers suck. They think that all their problems come from Joseph. They're angry. They react not of good mind and reject him. They sell him into slavery. But now that Joseph's gone, the bad stuff just keeps on coming. Luckily, I have one small bit from my conversation with Abby, and I'm going to put this here as the conclusion of this episode until we can have her on again and finish what we started. Till then, my creeping things, I hope you enjoy our analysis. Let's end this with your thoughts on the group of stuff. Yeah, on what we just read. And I'll start with mine, and then I'll let you have the last word as my guest. I guess the biggest thing for me is just I'm always so surprised how at the end of a journey, like with Jacob's journey, where he finally takes control of his life, there's always that backslide back into sin.
Oh, always.
You know, the repetitive nature of it. It's like feels like no matter how good everything's doing, it's like things are. There's an accomplishment, and there's a victory, and then
life as normal.
Yeah, there's like 12 kids, and everything's good, and then it slowly everybody kind of gets lax, and then it kind of starts to decay a little bit. And I'm like, God damn it! It just that process of spiritual renewal, I think, is very interesting. So I figure we're getting into
it's constant. It has to be a constant thing. It's
but
never
then the
just
focus of it too, like
right.
where you couldn't focus on the on that stuff when they were like running from, well, what was that guy who made Jacob work for years on his farm?
Oh, Rachel and Leah's
Laban.
dad.
That's it, Laban, that asshole. Like they're running from Laban's goons, and they're like about to fight each other and stuff. It's like we're not really concerned with the tedium,
right?
You know, now things in peacetime, tedium shows up.
Yeah,
things get lax, then decay starts to happen,
right?
And so all the things that we're seeing seem to be like takes on the sin of peacetime, so to speak.
So like the in Hebrew, the word peace doesn't necessarily mean like everything is no bad things are happening. In Hebrew, the word that they use for peace literally means like wholeness. Like it means like a piece of like if you were to take a slice of pie and pull it out and then reinsert the pie piece to make it a whole pie.
Yeah.
That is like the epitome of what peace is. It's like fullness, wholeness, completedness.
I want pie
It doesn't necessarily, right? Sorry about that. It's almost Thanksgiving, so you'll get there soon. But yeah, so there can be peace in the midst of chaos. You can feel whole and feel complete in the midst of chaos. That's not, a lot of people want to think that like, well, my life isn't peaceful, but you can be whole in the middle of chaos. And that's where satisfaction comes from your circumstance. Like it doesn't matter what your circumstance is. It's because you're whole.
So it's not the peace, it's the fact that these people aren't feeling whole.
Yeah. And that's also why when you're not feeling whole, you're searching for that. And you will turn to things that you can, you're succumb to your fleshly, sinful urges, which everybody has, which means like, oh gosh, I don't feel full. I don't feel whole. What can I do? Like, who can I make friends with? Who can I buy drugs from? Who can I, like, what can I do to like fill this like void inside of me? It's because
who can
you're
I sell
not
into
peaceful.
Slavery?
Right. Who, my brother, because I hate him. He annoys me.
That will make me feel good.
That'll make me feel good to get rid of him. I'll finally have like my life back to normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it shows right after that. It's like, nah, his life gets worse.
Right.
It's not Joseph's fault.
No. And yeah, so it's just it's just the way life is, there's always going to be something. Life is not perfect. You can't ever expect it to be, but you can be whole in the midst of your life. That's the goal, is to be complete, feel complete.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a good place to end it.
I'd like to think so.
Thank you all for listening, as always, to the Non-Believer
and the Believer
Bible Club.
Yes.